So today we are here at the Cape Town Science Centre where I'd like to show you a little aquaponics system that I've built to purely demonstrate aquaponics as an educational tool. So come join me. So this is it. We're growing plants and fish simultaneously in a closed loop system. Hope you enjoy it. I'm Mikhail Accom. I'm the founder of Eduponics. I am 34 years old from Cape Town, South Africa. My journey to becoming a changemaker, I suppose, was with the inner desire to help other people with the knowledge that I've acquired over the years, with the skills that I've acquired, to empower my fellow youth who I see quite often stuck in a rut, without any solutions. And with my training as a civil engineer, I'm able to look at problems and find solutions. It's what I've been trained to do. And so I try and apply my skills to help other people, change communities, and ultimately build the world that I would like to live in. Eduponics is an organization that focuses on using aquaponic farming as an educational tool in school. To provide relevant and inclusive experiences around STEM education, often lacking when it comes to lower income communities. I believe our exposure and experiences in life can contribute tremendously to our ability to absorb information and to find certain content relevant or irrelevant. So based on that, I've developed Eduponics to kind of bridge that gap that I find exists in the education space. But simultaneously, we have other problems like food security. So aquaponic farming, being a sustainable method of farming both fish and vegetables simultaneously in a closed loop system, has, at least boasts a lot of environmental benefits, and I think is a more sustainable way that we can introduce agriculture. It's less labor intensive, so a lot more attractive, I feel, to young people. But also with its intricacies can provide that relevant experiences that is needed to understand concepts of mathematics, physics, biology, geography, all in context. And then the third reason why Eduponics exists is because of the desperate situation our youth find themselves in. Especially the ones coming from lower income communities, are often stuck in survival mode, seeking an escape through economic opportunity. So the third part of our program is an entrepreneurship development program that encourages young people to start businesses within the agri hub that we set up within the school. The process is identifying challenges that exist in the community and finding solutions through agriculture activities and the value chain within the agriculture sector to bridge that gap of inequality and poverty. Growing up in Mitchell's Plain, I witnessed a lot of things that, kids shouldn't be witnessing. A lot of trauma, a lot of, I lost enough of my friends to gangsterism, to crime, as they seek an escape, from the constructs of poverty and inequality. Because of the lack of experiences and, often there's not a role model or a mentor at home, or somebody to facilitate that child when he comes from school, to offer that additional support. There isn't, because the parents are working, so a lot of the time the streets end up raising these kids, and unfortunately, within the constructs of gangsterism and crime that exists in our communities, a lot of kids fall victim to that. They are easily drawn into it because of economic opportunity. So Eduponics kind of exists to bridge that gap, to show an alternative way to escape those cycles that exist. Yeah, so that's where and why I started Eduponics. Really to provide an educational tool, but also to provide a new way of thinking, seeing problems as opportunities rather than a problem, that we, in terms of the negative aspect. I think when a problem exists, there is an immediate market. If many people suffer the same pain points, there is a market to a solution if the solution can come to fruition. So some of the challenges faced thus far, I'd say, is mainly gaining financial support, financial buy-in to ideas that exist out there. It's been quite a journey. I've had to be very resilient and creative around how I, where I start, how I start. Fortunately, I've had a great network of people who have supported me through resources, through opportunities, through collaborations. So this has been my way of stepping into existence, I'd say. But I think without the resilience, it's tough. You need to be resilient as an entrepreneur, as somebody who dreams of being or pursues being a change maker. It's one of the traits I believe that is fundamental to that. So yeah, we continue to be resilient in our pursuit. But yeah, financial support is always needing for operational expenses. We always have new projects coming up, new schools who are wanting to onboard. And with limited resources and limited capacity, it's often difficult to scale up the impact and the reach of it. So yeah, where we can leverage support in talent or financial support, that's always good. Our program in schools basically consists of a few phases. The first phase is always a stakeholder engagement phase, where we look at what are the challenges faced by the school, and this is from the perspective of the educators and from the students. I think self-identification of the problems that exist is very crucial to developing the solution. So that's always where we start. The second phase is an upskilling phase. So we work with educators and we upskill them in aquaponic farming. To do that, there is a mini aquaponic system that we've developed for easy application in classes. Lower the cost of infrastructure, but still be able to provide the experiences and the practical aspects of aquaponic farming. So after we've upskilled the educators and they are comfortable with the aquaponic system and the content of aquaponic farming, we then dive into each of the specific subjects that they teach. And we explore the curriculum. Currently we're in the CAPS curriculum in South Africa. We follow that framework, we follow the content that needs to be taught or covered within the syllabus, and we then develop customized curriculum around aquaponic farming to provide the experiences first to facilitate the content. The fourth phase of the project, and the next phase of the project involves the conceptualization, design and implementation of the Agri Hub. And obviously these then stem from the problems that were identified by the students. It is driven by them through a social entrepreneurship development program, where they decide their businesses, they decide the roles that they play within the business. Obviously through selection they have to apply with a CV, and they learn a lot of life skills along the way, such as teamwork, financial management, tax, what it takes to register a business, what it takes to run a business. So and through this program, they actually get exposure to the entire value chain of the agricultural sector. My key learnings as a community activist, I'd say, would be not imposing your ideas on a community, but rather finding out from them what are the problems, the extents of the problem, and rather build a solution, a holistic solution together than to enforce your narrative, or your solution, because your solution might not always tie in with what the community needs more immediately. So that would be my advice, or one of the key lessons. But I also say that don't ever be motivated by somebody who demotivated. Don't get demotivated by somebody who doesn't buy into your solution. I say also remain resilient in your pursuit of what you want and what you envision. Yeah.